Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we now know how the state will take new steps to help those who have lost their jobs during the coronavirus pandemic. And in light of case numbers increasing through parts of eastern Kentucky, Pike County is now offering more COVID-19 testing.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. Your time is 1 minute after 6 on this Wednesday, July the 1st. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Some saw rain yesterday, others saw an overcast sky, and everybody felt humidity. That's going to be a little bit of the same story today, so let's bring Brandon in to give us just a better breakdown of what exactly we should expect. Brandon, good morning and happy July.
Good morning, Will. Happy July to you. It's hard to believe it's already 7 months into the year, and you're right, basically a carbon copy of yesterday. Already seeing some dense showers this morning, and they're starting to pick up. The bad thing about these is there's not a whole lot of forward movement, and they're spreading out. Let's take you in on this cluster right here that's riding through about 4 different counties right now. It's into parts of Morgan County, just to the south of West Liberty. It's into parts of Wolfe County, just to the east of Campton there. It's into Breathitt County to the north of Jackson, and it's in Magoffin County to the west of Syersville this morning. And again, nothing severe, just heavy rain, some lightning embedded in that, but it's sitting right there over that same area, basically over those 4 county lines. So we're going to continue to watch that as we hit the morning. Temperatures mild and muggy, 60s and 70s area wide this morning. Looks like 70 now is the warm spot, Jackson and in Jacksboro. And you factor in that humidity here, dew point, ooh, it is uncomfortable to instant sweat out there this morning, so just be aware of that. It's sticky as you head out the door, and will be throughout the day as humidity is not going anywhere. It's going to be up there pretty high. Those chances for showers and storms continue today in scattered form. We're back right basically where we were yesterday with temperatures in the mid-80s, but the sky should start to clear as we head deeper into the night, and hopefully we'll give Doppler a break for the next few days as we get some drier air into place. The rest of the forecast coming up here in a little bit. Will?
All righty, Brandon, 7 months into the year and just another level of Jumanji in 2020. Thank you. Well, in last night's news conference, Governor Andy Beshear announced 282 new cases of COVID-19 and 5 additional deaths in Kentucky related to the coronavirus. But those numbers were just a small fraction of what the governor covered. Shelby Smithson has more about the state's budget, unemployment, and a warning heading into this holiday weekend.
In an update about as highly anticipated as the COVID-19 numbers themselves, Governor Andy Beshear announced a new step in solving Kentucky's unemployment claims crisis, a contract with accounting company Ernst & Young, providing 200 more people to help process claims, tripling the current workforce.
The purpose is to get us caught up and get us caught up quickly. Not over 5 months, but this is designed to get us as close to caught up in 1 month.
The goal is to complete March, April, and May claims, about 56,000 by July 31st. It's a $7.4 million contract, and the money that will pay for it is the same type of federal stimulus help that Governor Beshear says is needed to save the state budget. New projections shown today estimate a $1.1 billion shortfall in 2021. That means potential cuts of anywhere from 16 to 29%.
This would be like letting Kentucky go bankrupt, which we cannot allow to happen, because this hurts education. It hurts social services. It's going to hurt our ability to provide unemployment claims. It's going to hurt every single thing we do and further starve the systems that people are relying on.
It's something Beshear says he will continue to push federal leaders to address, and what he's pushing people right here in the Commonwealth to take just as seriously: face masks. While Kentucky has maintained a flattened curve despite other states seeing spikes as we continue into phase 3 of reopening and into a typically busy 4th of July weekend, officials say it's up to each Kentuckian to make sure that trend continues.
All of us individually to do what it takes to be reopened at this level and not cause a spike in cases. Because if we do, and if we have to roll things back, it will be because we individual Kentuckians did not take the responsibility to make sure we followed the rules to do it safely. It'll be on us.
In Frankfort, Shelby Smithson, WKYT.
Well, Pike County officials hosted a news conference at the Pike County Courthouse yesterday, saying they are worried about the increase in positive cases there. Public Health Director Tammy Riley announced 2 new cases since Monday for a total of 87, with 25 active cases, most of which are linked to one another or to travel. She says people should remain cautious. Pikeville Medical Center infectious disease specialist Dr. Fadi Alacross agrees.
If we're going to basically put our guards down and keep basically moving from community to another community and not follow the restriction policies, what are we going to do? We're going to bring the infection here to our area.
Judge Executive Ray Jones says tightening restrictions only works if people are willing to follow them, and he does not want the fiscal court to have to make any more ordinances, but he says people have to take the virus seriously, especially as we enter the holiday weekend. Well, in response to that increase in positive cases in Pike County is increasing its testing capabilities by bringing back the Kroger Health COVID-19 testing tent. Drive-through testing is available behind Shelby Valley High School. The testing is free and self-administered, but officials say someone will be on site to coach people through what they called a quick and painless process. They say you never know how beneficial the test could be.
A lot of the positives that we are identifying have no symptoms, so that definitely is a reason to come out. And we can test people without symptoms, with symptoms. We're glad to test anybody.
The site only tested close to 50 people on Tuesday, but has the capability to test 1,200 in a single day. Testing will continue at Shelby Valley through tomorrow from 7:30 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. Well, on Friday, Christian Care Communities announced that 55 people tested positive for COVID-19 at the Christian Health Center in Corbin. 5 other staff members have tested positive since then, bringing the total there to 80 cases. The center to 60, bringing the total to 60 cases. The center has 98 residents along with more than 100 staff members. WYMT's Emily Bennett has more details on the outbreak.
During this pandemic, nursing homes have been hit the hardest, which is why the Christian Health Center in Corbin took early precautions.
It was very important to have a baseline. This is a sneaky virus, and everyone's very afraid of it, and they should be.
In early June, they tested the whole center.
We were thrilled because everyone that we tested, staff, residents alike, were all negative.
But after an employee showed symptoms and tested positive, they knew they were not in the clear.
We tested our staff, and then we tested 100% of our health center residents.
Testing on June 24th showed 47 positive residents, along with 8 staff.
We have not lost anyone to COVID, and we're proud of that, but we're also very humble about that and so grateful.
Since then, the facility has announced 5 other staff members are also positive. They plan to test weekly until they are not seeing more positive cases.
We will probably test about 250 people tomorrow.
And as those at the center work hard to fight the virus, on Monday night, people from the community paraded by to show their support.
It was pouring down rain. People were here with balloons. They were honking horns. They were letting the staff know that it was very important that they knew that they were being supported.
In Corbin, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the center has brought employees from their locations in Louisville and Bowling Green to help give their staff some much-needed relief. Well, last night we learned the 2020 Honey Festival in Breathitt County will not take place this year. Organizers announced the Labor Day weekend cancellation on Facebook. In the announcement, they said the, quote, hope to encourage alternate activities that can be safely held while observing social distancing. Well, Phelps head football coach Andrew West announced last week that the Hornets would stop workouts for 2 weeks as a precaution due to COVID-19. West says one of his players had a family member who tested positive for the virus, and he made the decision to stop the workouts for the safety of his players. West also advised his players to get COVID-19 tests, hoping that everyone is negative.
We basically did everything that we possibly could to prevent any kind of exposure or any kind of contagion. But like I said, this was from a player being exposed outside of football that made me make the decision to shut it down. And that just shows you how quick it can spread and it shows you how quick something can shut down just because of one instance.
West says he is waiting for the players' results, which are expected to be back in tomorrow. Now, in addition to Phelps, Clay County also stopped its athletic activities on June 24th. Athletic Director Tommy Nicholson said that no athlete or coach tested positive for COVID-19, but they still made the decision for precautionary reasons. They will reevaluate on the 8th of July.
Forecast this morning pretty soggy in parts of the area, especially right there. We've been highlighting all morning long around the Breathitt, Morgan, Wolf, and Magoffin County lines. We're going to continue to watch that. Just saw there was a flood advisory issued for that. It was that cluster of cells near Lexington and Mercer County and some other counties up that way. So just keep an eye on those cells right there that we mentioned earlier, and some other cells that are starting to pop up across the region. That's the trend of today. We're going to continue to see that. This is the closest camera we have to that area. Mountain Parkway camera at Slate, the I-64 camera at Morehead's been down for about a week now. We'll get that back up online pretty soon, but we're looking again at just over skies there in Powell County this morning, and you see temperatures are very mild and muggy in the 60s and 70s as we start out the daytime hours today. Your emoji camera, one more day of that umbrella. Hopefully you'll be able to put it away tomorrow, put that weather app away, except for getting temperatures and current conditions, and then we'll see that sunshine return tomorrow and into Friday. It's going to heat up and quickly, just in time for the 4th of July. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you, and thank you for joining us right here on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Well, coming up, months have passed since Americans began receiving stimulus checks to help keep them afloat during the pandemic. Now we know what most Americans spent them on.